Gina, his victim in the case, waited nearly 2 years for this moment. This week, she did exactly that. While very understandably sobbing. On Tuesday, April 20th, Matt pleaded guilty to 1 felony count of domestic battery with corporal injury of a spouse. He also pleaded guilty to 1 felony count of false imprisonment by menace, violence, fraud, or deceit. Matt also apologized to Gina, as he had agreed to do. Before Gina even began reading her statement, she was sobbing. "It's hard," she expressed to the judge. Then, Gina began. "I thought I was going to die," Gina stated, addressing her ex-husband. "I still get chills thinking about how I begged you to stop. Think about the kids," she recalled. And, Gina replied, "You responded by saying, 'Your mom is going to die tonight.' It echoes in my brain, and it sinks deep in my heart," Gina shared. "That night, it literally felt like I was in a house with a stranger whom I'd never met before," she lamented. "Your eyes were completely black, and you were not Matt," Gina described. "It was so hard for me to believe that it was even you," Gina admitted. She then acknowledged, "But it was. It's taken me a lot of time, self-care, and therapy to work through what happened that night," Gina described. "But I have managed to forgive you for most of it," Gina affirmed. "I accept that I will always have this painful memory from that night," she shared. Gina stated, "I've come to terms with that." After Matt entered his plea, the judge sentenced Matt to 180 days in county jail. However, Matt will not have to actually go behind bars. In order to avoid jail time, he will need to complete a number of conditions and requirements over 178 days. Matt will need to wear a bracelet monitor. He will need to complete a 52-week batterers program. Additionally, Matt will be placed on probation for 3 years. Matt has also been placed under a peaceful contact protective order. Under this order, to which he has agreed, he cannot harass or threaten Gina. Honestly, shouldn't everyone be under this order at all times? All of this stems from a harrowing attack in June of 2019 in which Matt assaulted Gina and threatened her life. Their children were asleep elsewhere in the house and Matt had shown up late at night to confront his ex. Even when Gina escaped to seek help from a neighbor, Matt dragged her back into the house. "We are all thankful that Gina survived that night." Matt was arrested at the time. It took Gina a long time to come to grips with what happened, and she did speak about it at the reunion. Gina is focused upon peaceful co-parenting with Matt, which is astonishing, all things considered. Most of us don't think of assault, false imprisonment, and threatening someone's life as something that people just walk away from. But Matt is avoiding jail time in ways that he likely would not if he had done this to a stranger? For some reason, our society often treats domestic battery as a personal problem that can be addressed with counseling, all evidence to the contrary.